very much for staying. Welcome back. Now, Chairman of Parliament's Finance Committee, Dr. Mark Esibe-Yeboah, has waded into the current debate on classification of the energy sector bond. Now, this follows a push by the IMF that funds being raised should be put on government's books as public debt. Some persons, including former Finance Minister Seth Terkper, have kicked against IMF's proposals. Other personalities, like the former GNPC boss Alex Mould, former Deputy Minister of Energy Kwabena Donko, and the MP for Talensi Isaac Adongo, have rubbished government's claims, with some questioning the whole process of raising the funds. But Dr. Esibe-Yeboah tells Joy Business all those who are criticizing this process must come again.
I think the fund is set in their ways. They want to classify this as public debt. But you raise two cardinal issues that the fund has always lived with. One is consistency. We started a program in April of 15, and when the program started, all of these debts were classified as non-public debt. So debt of VRA, TOR, Gridco has not been part of public debt. We are almost 3 years into the program, and suddenly you want to classify the debt as public debt because we are issuing a bond. So if government decides today not to issue the bond anymore, it is not public debt. Well, if I go ahead and issue the bond, you are saying it is public debt. I think there's some inconsistency on the part of the fund. Two would be the fairness principle. Fairness. And the fund always lives with that. AMCON, Nigeria, did a similar bond in 2011. Same, using an SPV. At the time, it was classified not to be public debt. So why are you treating Ghana differently? So those are the two issues. But essentially, I think for the rating agencies, they figure these ones out, so it wouldn't cost so much.
So do you think it's more of much ado about nothing, or you've seen all the debates on this, and some are saying that move away the politics out of it. Some have raised certain serious issues that should be worth to be considered.
Yeah, if you take away all the politics, I'm sure you've read the article by Honorable Seth Terkper. He's saying that if you go to the oil sector, for example, we set up a sinking fund to retire the 17 bond backed by oil, okay? And that was not treated as part of public debt. So if in this case we have an ESLA, which in the budget, this is an off-budget item, it is collected into an escrow. And so it is not part of government revenue. If it were the case that it was government revenue and the government could touch it, then you can complain. But it's not part of government revenue per se. It is sitting aside and then goes to service the energy sector debt. So I think Seth is right on this one.
Away from that, the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, is demanding government's immediate action to keep foreigners out of the local retail market. Some members staged a demonstration on Tuesday in Kumasi to draw attention to their concerns. Ashanti Regional Public Relations Officer Andrews Ochre insists the activities of foreign nationals breach Ghana's trade laws at the expense of indigenous businesses.
Boot lock, door hinges and fuel pump. These have been in the shelves for a week. Normally they are sold off every day. David Jemfi compares the prices to the foreigners' shop.
Boot lock no, yane no, yadeje 30 cedis, but Nigeria no, almost be edibema 20 cedis, you know, yadibema 40 cedis, but Nigeria ni so dibema 20 cedis. Ana fuel pump no so no, yadibema 50, but Nigeria ni dibema 35.
The foreigners, including Chinese, Lebanese, and lately Egyptians, are said to be selling similar goods at a cheaper price.
Is there a Jumano? And now say pot a hoye dinner na a price and as a mukoya or muntimini and your machine unintino. And my Nigeria for no so who's on or more than your ma.
Because of high import duties, there was influx of foreign goods. Foreigners reduced the prices of their goods by almost half, and that has really affected us. Now, they don't buy our goods.
So we better our the budget 90 pesos. It is an your mano. First and also no bar, utimi, enya, or mutimi turn your machine show, or mutimi turn your machine show. Emma Okwa, 10 year old person, when you be too. say in case emergency say bibia ni a obetimi de asolve sa problem no wutimi nya enya de obedie ne say wo yire ana say wo ma wutimi nya bi so hwe wo mo unya bi so ehwe wo mo na
GIPC Law 865 Article 27 permits only Ghanaians to do retail business. Ashanti Region branch of Ghana Union of Traders Association Tuesday embarked on demonstration to remind the law enforcing agencies of their roles. This follows a petition submitted 4 months ago to regional authorities.
When it comes to trade, there's also a law that bind whoever want to, take part. We have this GIPC at 865. If you read Section 27, this category, align what a foreigner cannot do, which solely reserved for Ghanaians, including retail and hawking. But what do you see? Look around, you see a Chinese, Indian, Pakistanis, Nigerians, and whatsoever. A lot of nationals are doing this, which is contrary to the law that we are talking about. So that's why, we are educating the public and we are creating awareness to the public.
The foreigners who didn't speak on camera deny all the claims. Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Debra.
Meanwhile, a group in Kumasi calling itself Concerned Youth of Bantama wants authorities to close down a gas filling station in the area. Members say the siting of Royal Gas, which is 60 meters away from the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital and also near to the Center for National Culture, poses a security risk to inhabitants. It comes just days after the Ashanti Regional Minister ordered the closure of a similar installation at Kasi, also in Kumasi. Spokesperson for the group, Michael Kwabna Entry, says several protest letters sent to city authorities and to the Regional Coordinating Council are yet to receive the attention they require.
I'm said the ma aditi tupa ano the ma ye ohano Royal Gas ntinewa because any ma ekoso Ghana hano em so bia timi ye si o ye ya sukoya ye obi o watonsu bitimi tu ano ekosi no ku na hwe baby ade baby esi Bantama finfini na ha no esi a yeah, can say, Mpanfo no anhwa me anya mfiri na che say ye ka say Mpanfo bia just can na che say because ye ma de no Airshow pasa betina ka say ade o ya cross ni nyoma na Mpanfo betutu ka finka ba mo de ade person ye kire ne say on to tank no onye na juma onye na juma but onto the tank no free o to free ho a ya the bottle no ba no ko bo agu ba beto ya so de beto na ya ne beto ama no ye say obi adwuma ebi osu eti bottle no yin fan kwan o fanko depo to say first o start adwuma sana no ya tank no ba ye tank no ni only tank no free no onye na adwuma only tank no free Bantama yeah kasa ye go abato etuma NPP amamo ya yenya almost 89%. Williams of Bantama the father so the whole Ghana will do first. Yeah catch na ku kwa say one more na sadu no ba ye job pa no ko na ma no ye san o tuma ye
And those were some youth of Bantama, a suburb of Kumasi, agitating against the removal or the siting of a gas filling station, which they say posed security risks to the people of the area. Let's still stay further in Kumasi, and Ghana's poultry sector is facing some challenges, including last year's avian flu outbreak, which resulted in low sales. This is compounded with the unrestrained trade liberalization, which allows importation of poultry products to compete with local ones. To help overcome some of these challenges, Ghanaian poultry farmers and other stakeholders are collaborating with foreign partners for an international exhibition next month as part of measures to revive the industry in the country. Prince Appiah attended the press conference and has filed this report.
The International Poultry, Aquaculture and Livestock Show, PALS Africa, is holding for the second time in Ghana. It will bring together industry players to network and form partnerships to enhance growth of local businesses. Over 50 exhibitors from across the world are expected to share their expertise at a 3-day fair in November. Chief Executive of Chicks and Chickens, John Bewedu, is brain behind the initiative.
All over the world, farmers and industry players meet together once in a year or once every 2 years to network, to discuss, to learn, all to push the industry forward. PALS Africa has come to do same for our dear nation, Ghana. And in fact, this is our widow's mite towards the creation of jobs for our country, because we believe that poultry has a very, very great opportunity to help provide jobs in our country. And so this year, hopefully on Monday the 30th, we're starting with our seminars.
Exhibitors are expected to introduce some modern ways of strengthening poultry business. Chief Executive of Boris B Farms, Boris Beidu, believes technology is critical for growing the sector.
I believe it is to help the farmers actually to also show what they have. Of course, I mean the products in the industry, and also not only locally, but international people can come. And as we all know, poultry farming, it has a lot to do with the amino acids and vitamins and all other equipments that we need for the industry. So when it happens like that, just like when you go to America and Asia, Europe and every place, you see many products, new products, modern type, and so this is the time for people to show what they have, as a modern type of materials, equipments that we can use. Now today is new technologies in the system, and in such shows is where you can find such stuff. And so the international companies, do patronize very well in such events. And so PALS Africa this year, I think
the response is very cool. Reverend Jomenu believes the collaboration will enhance efforts to promote food security.
And at the end of the day, it's going to help the poultry industry in our nation a lot. Because as I said, we want to go modernize. We want to modernize agriculture. And as we are all aware, we are living in a global village. The world is now a global village. And out there, people are advanced, and if you want the poultry to reach that level that we want it to reach, we need to add some of these advanced technological packages. And it's through this show that most exhibitors are going to showcase what they have, so that at the end of the day, our farmers will tap into these new practices, and in order to improve upon whatever they are doing to reach out to that level that we want our poultry industry to reach.
Prince Appiah reporting.
So if you've just tuned in, you are live on Business Live with me, Emmanuel Apuaji. Let's now turn attention to the aviation section, and Vice President of the International Air Travelers Association, Raphael Kuchi, is urging stakeholders in Ghana's aviation industry to focus on business catering to aviation logistics. IATA Vice President Raphael Kuchi spoke to Joy Business at day one of the Africa Air Show underway at the Kotoka International Airport, and which will be officially opened by President Akufo-Addo on Wednesday. He said the aviation logistics industry had significant business potential for the country.
Running from the 24th to the 26th of October, the first ever Africa Air Show commenced with conferences and exhibitions at the Kotoka International Airport in Accra.
The biggest aeronautics and airspace event, which is the African Airshow, the first of its kind, and it's being held here at the Kotoka International Airport. From services to logistics, everything is available here today. This particular event is geared towards attracting various investors and stakeholders to Ghana's aviation industry. According to the Vice President of IATA, Raphael Kuchi, the event presented a good opportunity to look into aviation logistics investments.
An event such as this, if properly coordinated, and if everybody in the industry take a deeper look at how we can bring some of these businesses that are exhibiting here to come and based here and serve the African market, then Ghana would have created an aviation equipment and logistics hub for Africa. And for me, that is what Ghana should be aiming for. That most of these companies that have come from across the world, we should see how we can get them to set base here and service Africa from this country. The air show had about 100 exhibitors and over 300 participants from across the world. Some exhibitors spoke to Joy Business.
And for me as an exhibitor and as an airline, I'm also looking out for other stakeholders in the industry for us to do more, more discussions, more collaborations. So far, I think it's been okay.
Our business is about runway maintenance, and most of European companies that are doing the same service here have very expensive prices to do the service here because of mobilization. But as we are decided to establish here a company and place some equipment here locally and do the business locally here, we will manage the cost here for our clients.
Air traffic management solutions. We have our own foliage penetration radar, and I think that will help in combating galamsey because of its capability. And we think that we will get some good reception. On his part, the managing director of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, John Atefa, was optimistic that the air show would give a big boost to Ghana's aviation industry.
Now people will believe that Ghana is ready for business. Our visitors will see our new terminal coming up, and they'll know that we are getting ourselves really prepared for the big takeoff. So we expect to have new business, new air routes, new businesses set up in Ghana, different routes, cargo, passenger to different parts of the world, and that would help us to be able to realize our dream of becoming the hub in West Africa.
President Akufo-Addo is expected to officially open the air show tomorrow.
Now, some Malaysian investors have attended a seminar in Accra to create partnerships and opportunities for the Malaysian palm oil market under the theme Creating Mutual Partnership, Optimizing and Expanding Palm Oil Opportunities in West Africa. The seminar identified the importance of strategic collaboration between Ghana and Malaysia to expand the oil palm market. There's more in this report.
This maiden edition of the Malaysia-Ghana Oil Palm Trade and Seminar, organized here in Ghana, is geared towards fostering the existing strong diplomatic relationship between both countries, especially in trade and investment. Ghana is one of Malaysia's biggest trading partners in the region, with the total trade between the two countries registering $337 million in 2016. Addressing the press at the sidelines of the event, the chairman of the Malaysian Palm Oil Council, Dato' Lee Yao Chow, says the production of palm oil to meet export demand is a long-term achievement.
Actual total requirement of oils and fats is 680,000 tons. So naturally a deficit. I think for at least the next 5 to 10 years, Ghana will have to import oils from outside the country, because I don't think no matter how fast you develop your own domestic planting industry, you are able to produce so much more within a short time. So in that way, for us, when we have this downstream industry, don't forget, also employ people in the factories, and also it has spillover benefits for sectors such as transportations laboratory services for quality control, etc. So this will definitely create jobs.
Also speaking exclusively to Joy Business, Dato Lee outlines the steps the country can adopt to harness the production of oil palm on a large scale.
I think the production, this cultivation of oil palm actually is a long-term venture. So from the growing of the seeds, which will take 1 year, to planting it in a field, following by 3 years of immaturity, then only the palm oil can start to produce. The trees can start to produce fruits, and so initial 3 or 4 years, actually their production also will be quite low before they hit their peak. So that is the whole process to optimum production of palm oil from the trees will take about 9 to 10 years. Yeah. So it is not easy. It takes a long time, but at the same time, it also requires quite a big amount of land, as well as suitable arable condition, such as good rainfall and good sunlight hours. Yeah. So these are the things that that Ghanaian government and people needs to look at.
The event witnessed the launching of a regional office at the airport city.
Now, the Energy Commission has warned uncertified electricians who undertake industrial and wiring of buildings will be arrested and prosecuted. Offenders will be liable to a fine of 250 penalty units or 3,000 Ghana cedis. Authorities explain the measure is to ensure qualified professionals provide such services as part of measures to prevent fire outbreaks. The Ghana Electrical Wiring Regulations 2011, Legislative Instrument 2008, were passed in 2012 by Parliament. It prescribes only certified electrical wiring professionals are legally entitled to undertake indoor electrical wiring projects. Here's Public Affairs Manager at the Energy Commission, Victor Owusu.
The Ghana Electrical Wiring Regulations 2011, Legislative Instrument 2008 were passed in 2012 by Parliament. It prescribes only certified electrical wiring professionals are legally entitled to undertake indoor electrical wiring projects. Here is Public Affairs Manager at Energy Commission, Victor Owusu.
We are entering into the full implementation stage of the law. Full implementation. We are going to go into full implementation. Full implementation means what? Full implementation means that from now onwards, no electrician who is not certified by the Energy Commission can undertake electrical wiring in this country. So that is the reason why we have brought you here this morning, so that you members of the press will assist us to carry out this message to the general public.
And time now for our interview of the day. And the Institute of Fiscal Studies is pushing for some changes in the country's revenue mobilization strategy to address shortfall challenges. The country over the years has struggled to meet revenue targets. Latest figures from Bank of Ghana show that July revenue target was down by almost 3 billion cedis. Speaking at a pre-IFS 2018 budget, Director at the Institute, Professor Newman Kusi, said the strategy must be seen working.
Interview of the day.
Well, it's commitment to implement. Commitment to implement, the policies, monitor and ensure that we achieve the target that we set for ourselves. We've been identified, the various areas, that need to be looked at so that you can bring them into the tax base to increase the tax base and therefore be able to increase the domestic revenue. What is left is the commitment to implement the right policies. It's simple like that.
What are some of the immediate strategies to get around this thing? Because some are saying that we just have up to the numbers for July. We also know that as of August, things are just not that good. What could be the immediate strategy to try and stabilize them? Because there's this whole argument that, the last quarter miracle or the last 3 months miracle where numbers pick up. What can be done in the short term to improve? Should be cuts in expenditure to balance things out?
Well, I mean, let's say within the next 2 or 3 months to get to the year end, what can be done? What can be done is to ensure that, we improve the tax administration, in terms of collection of the taxes, making sure that all the concessions and those things are plugged in, the proper collection and accounting of those things. There should be what they call it. They have a unit in tax revenue that follows up, to ensure that people pay their tax, file their returns, and do so. So in the short term, we need to enhance the administration of the tax revenue, machinery. In medium to the long term is where we try to bring in, all these areas, that are not in the tax net, because you have to bring the area in the tax net so as to be able to know how much tax and what type of tax to be imposed. So those are medium to long term. But in the long term, all that we have to do is improve compliance. We have to improve collection of the taxes and accounting of that.
Interview of the day.
And that wraps up the show for this evening. Many thanks for your company on Business Live. Do join us again same time tomorrow for more interesting development in the world of business. Meantime, you can log on to www.myjoyonline.com/business for more business news updates. My name is Emmanuel Apuaji. Keep watching.